Hey guys, this is Jeff here from Sustainable Life Blog, and I am going to show you how to sign up for and use personal capital to manage your financial situation. So, I already have an account. You can see here that we're at the Personal Capital homepage, and if you want to join, you can pick this button right here that says Join for free, but since I already have an account, I'm just going to go ahead and sign in. So you pick the sign in button, you'll be brought to a page with your username. You can put in and hit continue. As you can see here, mine is grayed out for security purposes. Then they're going to bring you to the password page, and here you'll enter your password, and you notice here that it says device name right above the password box. And that is part of their security features. They've done this so if you have a home PC or a home laptop, something that you'll use to sign into Personal Capital frequently, they can automatically recognize that and you won't have to go through extra security measures to get to your account. So pick the sign in button and it'll load the dashboard and take you to your accounts. As you can see, it's got a nice clean layout and it's got basically everything that you could want right up front. Usually on the left hand side under my accounts, these will usually have little circles here that are spinning, which means that they're simply updating. But since I was just in here recently looking at my balances, as you can see 12 minutes ago, my accounts last updated, it won't be updating for now. So, if you've got all your accounts here, you've got your net worth, all your cash accounts, which are checking, savings, things like that, your investment accounts under those, any credit cards that you might have below that, and your mortgage, home equity lines of credit, things like that, or other debt are down at the bottom. So the first thing that I wanted to show you is how to link an account. I have all of my accounts in here now except for retirement plans through my former employer and my wife's current employer because Personal Capital doesn't support those yet. And I have all my other accounts in here. But if you wanted to add your accounts, you can just pick this little plus sign at the top right next to my accounts and you can pick your bank or enter your bank's URL or do something else like add a home value, other assets that you might have that you want to kind of keep track of. I've chosen not to add my home value because I think it skews my net worth and it's not like I can just turn around and sell my home tomorrow if I wanted to. It would take a little bit more preparation than that. So the first thing that you'll see here is your net worth, and because of our home mortgage, we're currently in the negative, but it is going up. It's got a nice picture and it shows you the last 30 days. The next thing, and the thing that I really kind of like to look at the end of every month, this cash flow portion of the site is one of my favorite things. You can go over here to the calendar and you can look at your spending for the month. So we can go ahead and look at what my wife and I did in December of 2014. You can see we had a fair amount of income. A lot of this was paychecks, other checks, and investment income because a lot of the funds we hold pay out in December. So our income was pretty healthy in December, and then if you pick over to our spending, it was higher than normal because we had some work on our house done and we had to pay for that. So that comes up here in a couple places, but you can see that we still out-earned our spending by a healthy margin. And down below here, down below your pretty graphs, you can see where we were spending all of our transactions. And this is the next feature that I like about Personal Capital is your transaction log, and it'll show you what account made the transaction. You know, this is looks like my wife's credit card here, my credit card here, our checking account. And then if you need to, you can set the categories of your spending. For instance, this was when my wife and I were traveling home from Christmas. I believe we ate lunch somewhere in Buffalo, so we categorized that as travel, but we could also put it down as restaurants if we want. One of the key features that I really like about this is the tags here you can see below. For instance, business, medical, reimbursable, or tax related. And this has really helped me keep track of things throughout the year. For instance, if I had a few things that I bought that I was doing on behalf of my office, say purchasing plane tickets or rental car, conference or professional group membership, something like that, I would pick this reimbursable button, hit done, and then you can see over here it's got these two arrows saying that it's reimbursable. That is one of my favorite things about the service, and you can see I use that quite a bit. I've got down here, you can see my telephone. I have that checked as business related and reimbursable because at the end of the year, I use my phone a lot for my personal business and I write some of it off come tax time. So it's nice to have all of that information in one place. It'll tell me how much I spent on my phone and how much I'll be able to write off come tax time. So now that we've covered kind of the day-to-day account balances, transactions, and your monthly cash flow, I'm going to get into the real reason that I've had so much success and why I've enjoyed Personal Capital so much. This is the investing portion of the site here, and you can go up top and pick your portfolio like I just did. It'll show you how much your investments are earning and where your gains are coming from. Basically, it doesn't matter if these are all in separate accounts at separate financial institutions. It'll still give you a picture of your entire holdings from all the accounts that you could link to Personal Capital. My funds are all at Vanguard because I find that easy and they have low fees. I think they're a great company to work with. But if I had something at Fidelity or T. Rowe Price or E-Trade or Trade King or something like that, I'd be able to see all of those stocks down here and not just ones that were at a specific brokerage. Up here is the graph, and this is comparing my returns in light blue to the broader market index. Reason it looks like I'm outperforming is because my wife and I hold our emergency fund in bonds instead of a traditional savings account because we prefer the higher interest rate that bonds pay versus the nothing that traditional savings accounts pay. So that's probably why we're underperforming the S&P and the Dow. Over here, if you pick the asset allocation, it will give you your current asset allocation. Shows you how much you've got in cash, bonds, U.S. stocks, international stocks, alternatives, and then if you have something unclassified, it'll say that. This right here, unclassified, is our college savings for our daughter, and if you pick this, it'll tell you, and you can use this classify button to classify it if you so choose. I haven't done that yet. If you go back to your all asset classes and pick just one of them, like we picked US stocks here, it'll tell you how much money you've got where, large cap value, large cap core, large cap growth, your mid caps and your small caps as well. And it'll tell you the actual dollar amount as well as the percentage of your overall portfolio that you have in that. And then it further breaks it down by US sectors. And this is your asset allocation in a specific sector of the economy, overall sectors. So it's got cyclical goods, energy, financial services, healthcare, industrials, technology, utilities, and things like that. They also have a retirement fee analyzer, which I think would help many people who have 401ks through their place of work. I do not, and neither does my wife. So we invest elsewhere, like I mentioned earlier, with Vanguard. And the retirement fee analyzer will take your current contributions, anticipated growth based on a set return that you can assume down here, and it'll tell you how much of your earnings will be lost to investment fees like loads or management fees or something like that. As you can see here, they set the benchmark at 0.5% or 50 basis points, and since fees are one of the things I feel like I can control and I choose to focus on those when I'm investing, our fees are 0.16%, which is very, very low. Mostly that's how Vanguard operates. So you can see we're going to lose 3% of our earnings in the next 10 years to fees, which is pretty low, and I'm okay with that. They will also do for you an investment checkup. So if you go up to investing and pick the investment checkup button at the top, it says, can your portfolio work harder? And they ask you to answer a few questions here about your risk profile, your risk tolerance, what age you expect to retire. So you can fill all that out, pick the next button, add how much you save each year, how much you hope to spend during retirement, and you can tell Personal Capital what your investable assets are worth, or you can have it use the dashboard data that you have, and you also tell it your net worth. So you plug in those numbers, and then if you want to enter other retirement income, such as Social Security check, or a pension, or rent from an investment property, you can go ahead and enter that below. You can pick the Save button, and then it will examine your portfolio, talk about what your asset allocation is, and give you a target asset allocation so that you'll be able to meet the goals that you defined in step 2 within the bounds of your risk profile that you defined in step 1. So for me, this doesn't work because of the fact that my daughter's 529 is an unclassified asset, and that makes up a significant percentage of the investment assets that we have linked to Personal Capital. But this does work well, and I encourage you to use it. So that's it for my review of Personal Capital. I would like to thank you for listening, and if you have any questions, please see my written review on the website, sustainablelifeblog.com, where I go over the desktop app as well as the mobile apps for iPhone, Android, and iPad. Thanks a lot.